Hey guys, so I know I told you guys I was going to make a video about my surgery journey, and I feel like now is a good time for me to probably go ahead and share my journey with you guys from the beginning until now, which I am 11 weeks post op now. So I had a little poll on my Instagram, and I'm gonna get to some of those questions that you guys like specifically had. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through my journey first on like how I booked, how I found my doctor, the prices of things, anything that I can probably help anybody with. To start off with, the way that my journey started is back when I was 18, I always knew that I didn't have like the body, like I never had potential to have like that like shapy type of woman. Like I was an athlete. I had a very athletic body. I just kind of got tired of that, like growing as a woman, like out of my like childhood. So I never had like the hips. I even had a kid and still didn't get hips, like nothing. Um, I was on TikTok actually. This is the funny thing, and I seen a girl post her like journey on TikTok, and I had kept seeing more and more videos on BBLs, and they kept saying like, "Go get that BBL, sis. Like it changes your life." Like blah blah blah. Um, that kind of just like motivated me a little bit to go ahead and actually do what I've been wanting to do anyway. So I found this one girl's profile and she had the best shape. Like her butt was not too big. It was just like a nice natural little like, curve, whatever. I ended up going through her page and I'm seeing like who she went to. And she actually went to Dr. William, who was not someone you guys really hear me talk about on my other pages because he was my original doctor, and he's who I started with in the beginning, but I started to get a weird feeling, but I'll get into that. So, the way I booked with him is I found him on Instagram, Dr. William, Miami, something like that. Let me see if I can pull it up, but I'll actually put a like screenshot of his Instagram because he is a good doctor, but I think he's just overbooked. So I reached out to 305 Plastic Surgery. That was who I originally booked with, and they were super nice. Basically, all they asked for in the beginning, this was back in November, I believe, was just pictures of my body, front, side, and the back. And then they sent me like a list of just like some basic questions, my name, date of birth, how old am I, do I have any kids, have I ever had any surgery or medical history. So you just kind of fill that out and you can send that right to them through Instagram, and then they end up getting back to you um, via like email. So they can also reach out to you through your phone number because you're gonna give them your phone number and all your contact info. So they reach out to you however they reach out to you. But the next step is you're gonna get a coordinator and a consultant. So you end up dealing with like two women throughout. And honestly, I feel like this is the hardest part is like communication with them. And I feel like a lot of women say this. I follow a lot of surgery pages on Facebook, and that's another point I was going to make to you guys that I think is a good idea is to do your research and definitely go follow like some pages on Facebook or like Instagram even where you can follow up with women who've gotten surgery by that same doctor so you can kind of see like if there's trends or if there's any like issues with the doctor. You want to know everything from like real people, not like from the doctor themselves. So, anyway, my coordinator and my consultant. So they reached out to me. They ended up telling me how much my deposit would be, and they ended up telling me the dates that they had available and all that stuff. So the same day that I sent my pictures was the same day they reached out to me, which was great for me because I see a lot of people having issues with that, but I had a good experience. And again, this is still with 305. So this is back in November. So I booked originally. His closest date he had at that time was May 6th, 2022, and this was still November 2021 at the time. So it gave me some time because they whipped out a big old price tag on me with the pictures that I showed them. So I had like I said, I have one kid. I was 26 at the time, and I had a little loose skin. I didn't think that I was gonna need a tummy tuck, but from this consultant or coordinator, um, they told me that I needed a tummy tuck and the BBL. So, of course, that like kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, I don't really want a tummy tuck right now. I'm 26. I don't know if I'm done having kids. Like, it just wasn't something I really wanted to do. That's a much bigger surgery. Like, a tummy tuck is like super scary to me. I was just like, whatever. He's a doctor. He knows what's best. So I booked it. But the further I started to dig into research and looking and looking and looking, I started to see that a lot of these consultants and coordinators don't even show the pictures to the doctors. So that is kind of scary in a sense because they're not even, they have no certification, they have no schooling, no education on plastic surgery. So for them to be making recommendations to women and kind of making them feel like they need this or they need that, like, and then giving them this huge price tag, it was a little like unsettling for me. So anyway, at that time in November, I was like, fuck it. I need the surgery. I want to do it. I don't care what I need to do. They were like, he's not going to perform BBL without the tummy tuck. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm doing a tummy tuck then. So he was just the best one in my eyes at that point. I wanted nobody else but him. Like, I was so dead set on him. So my price was like $14,000, y'all. Like, I was like, oh, I have to like save up big time. Like, I'm gonna have to like cut back on like little things I was buying, like, blah blah blah. So his, because Dr. William does a lot of celebrities and he does a lot of like higher end people, his BBL already started out on the higher end to begin with. He was 7,500, but he includes the lipo 360 front and back, sides, flanks, whatever, up to your bra line. And then he also includes, of course, the fat transfer, and that's the 7,500. But he also uses Cell Saver. Cell Saver, I believe, is something that just kind of helps you not lose too much blood or something. Actually, wait a minute. Let me Google this because I honestly don't even know. Because Dr. Cannon, who I went to, didn't even use that, and I don't even know if he offered it. So it collects blood loss during surgery. So the red blood cells are washed with normal saline and concentrated. I don't know, but Dr. William uses Cell Saver, and I guess that's included in his price. But it didn't seem like a big deal for me to have that, but he included it. So I, of course, had to pay that. So that day I was like, okay, I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna do my date. So 305 has a deposit of only $250 per procedure, which was great. So since I was recommended a tummy tuck and the BBL, I had to end up paying 500 for a deposit, which was nothing because they were two different procedures, I guess. So cool, $500, paid it. And then that was when I started to begin to get I'm saving up all my money. I'm not going to spend any extra money. I'm going to pay this, and that on these days. I had it all planned out. I was going to pay on it up until the date. That was kind of my plan. So I believe it was around December. I started following those Facebook pages, and I will link them. I will let you guys know which pages I followed because they were the most helpful things, honestly, with my big decision change. So I had some women on the Dr. William Facebook page saying they were unhappy, they looked too natural, they asked for this, they didn't get that, they had uneven lipo, like it was just constant things, and I was still trusting. I'm like, this is my doctor, I'm gonna trust him, he's gonna do good on me, like their bodies don't look like mine to start with, like I just gotta trust the process. So some girl happened to put something on Yelp or like said something about Yelp. So I was like, I never went on Yelp. Like, what in the world? So I went on Yelp, and this man had like 2 stars. It was just horrible, horrendous. Like 45 women just going in on him, like how he cancels the same day, which I was getting a lot of that on the Facebook pages. He was canceling on the same day of surgery, letting these women go all the way to Miami, paying all this money, paid in full, and then canceling them because he was overbooked. And that was not something I could do. I'm from Delaware, so this was like a 16-hour like difference in drive, and then like the flight was like 3 hours. Like I have a daughter, like I work at a hospital. I had to do a lot to get off for the surgery. So I was like, there's no option that he can cancel me. So I started to get like a little weary about it, and I started getting really upset about the surgery and wanting to cancel it altogether. I was done. Like, I was like, this is too much. Like, it's stressful. Like, you don't know these people, you can't trust them. You can't drive around the corner and say like, hey, like, what's this about? Like, and of course, the coordinators are gonna lie to you if you contact them about what you see on Facebook and Yelp. So I was just like over it. So I took a couple of days. I started doing some research on some different doctors, and a couple people were posting about Dr. Cannon on the Williams page. So I had seen a little bit of his work, but he wasn't like huge. So I know in the beginning, when I first followed Dr. Cannon on Instagram, he only had like 30 or 40,000 followers. He was just getting, started for real. Like, and I feel like that was the best thing that could have been like could happen to me, like timing wise. So December, I contacted my coordinator. I was like, look, I know Dr. William and Dr. Cannon work within the same facility. So 305 is like a branch surgery center. So they're like the main one, I think. And then there's branches underneath of them. So I think like New Life, Plastic Surgery, Miami Life or something. I don't know. But I do know Vixen, Plastic Surgery is underneath 305. And that's where Dr. Cannon primarily is. He used to be at 305 and Vixen, but I feel like he's like the main one at Vixen now. So I think he's always at Vixen. So, and that's where I ended up having surgery. But I contact my coordinator. I'm like, is there any way that I can switch to Dr. Cannon for just a BBL? I don't want to do the tummy tuck, like just the BBL. Because I had seen on those Facebook pages that Dr. Cannon was big on doing a BBL first. And then if you need the tummy tuck, you come back. So I was like, I actually agree with that more because, again, I'm young. I don't know if I want more kids. And who knows, if you get the lipo, your body can react, like heal differently. You know what I mean? And that's the way that he looked at it, which I feel like my goals were aligned with what he was going for in his practice. So that kind of also made me think like, okay, he's the one for me. Like, I knew I wanted lipo before I even started getting in my brain that I needed this tummy tuck because I really knew I didn't need it. But, the doctor was saying you need it. So, at that point you're just like, okay, I'll do whatever. So anyway, I reached out to my coordinator. She sent me, like that same day, she sent me my brand new contract with Vixen. She told me my deposit would be transferred within a week or two. And boom, I mean, it was that easy. So all I had to do was call Vixen and get a date. So my deposit transferred and everything. It was the best. Like, it was the easiest process for me. And I see people having issues with it, but I really didn't have any problems. Like, Vixen really, like, they did their thing for me. Like, so I wasn't upset with the business that I got from them at all. So I called Vixen that same day. They told me the dates they had, and they ended up having an earlier date than what I was previously booked for, which was April 6th. So I'm like, okay, I haven't scheduled my schedule out that far yet, so I'm with it. Like, let's do April 6th. So that was my date, and so at that time, I hadn't booked any Airbnbs or anything at that time. Luckily, it was December, I think. I still had a couple more months. So what I ended up doing was started looking at Airbnb, started looking at recovery houses. Recovery houses was just expensive. Like, that was one of the reasons I didn't really look too much into them. Like, and then I had seen that there was a lot of recovery homes, like fraud, like doing fraud and like not really certified anybody in there. So honestly, like, I knew that I was a nurse. I mean, I'm a nurse. I can probably take care of myself. Like, of course, you're very like hurt. You really can't take care of yourself, like, honestly. But I didn't feel like I needed like a 24-hour nurse, if that makes sense. Again, I'm young. I have no health issues. I just felt like it was just going to be a recovery like any other thing. So I decided to book an Airbnb, and I'm going to get to the exact Airbnb that I stayed at. I know the address, but I don't know if I can find it on Airbnb. I'm going to try, but if I do, I'm going to post a screenshot as well. But yeah, so we booked the Airbnb. I booked my plane ticket and my baby dad. So me and my baby dad were the ones that went down there, just me and him. And, we ended up doing fine. I was good. Like, so yeah, so that's how I chose my doctor. Told you why I did surgery. Basically, the way I did research was, like I said, the Facebook pages. There's a Instagram called Surgery Miami 411 or something. Let me find it for y'all. It's called Surgery 411 um, Gang Maine, I guess. But it looks like that. I don't know if you can see it. But they're good to follow. And then let me find another one. Oh, and the surgery room. They're like really good too. This one. And again, I'll post screenshots because I feel like this you can't really see it, but they post a lot of like dirt on these doctors. So for real, you get to really like see what's going on. So my doctor really wasn't really on there. Like Dr. Kanan was kind of on there, but it was like from old stuff where he was just starting, and she was like kind of saying how he had uneven this, uneven hips, uneven lipo, like blah blah blah. But it wasn't nothing, and like too like crazy for me. And then like I had been seeing his like more recent um people, so like I just kind of just like let that go anyway. So, and you, if you follow Vixen Plastic Surgery and Dr. Cliff Cannon, you can see all of his like work. So price, so I'm gonna get into that. So um my surgery was about 14,000 with 305. When I switched over to Dr. Cannon, his surgery at that time was 5,500. So I was like, of course I'm gonna do that. So, and I was already planning on paying like way more than that. So I added J Plasma to my package when I first booked with him. And what J Plasma is, it's just like a they use like I guess it's heat in the cannula when they like get the fat out or like put the fat in. I don't really know which way they do it, but I guess it's like a heated cannula or something, and it's supposed to like cause skin tightening as time goes by as you heal. Like, so I added that. That was an additional 2,500. So my surgery was 8K, and that was it. Like I was like, I'm good with it. Like that's way better than like 14 or whatever. So I did that, and I didn't have to pay a deposit because I had already paid on two surgeries from my prior thing or whatever. So then, boom. So I'm paying on it, paying on it. I paid off my surgery in 4 months. Like it was easy. Like I paid the 8K. I was just like, all right, cool. So that's paid. So here comes my surgery date. I think I paid in full the month before just to have everything set in stone. But when I got to surgery, so the week before I left for surgery, I had seen a post by Dr. Cannon, and the FDA did not approve for J Plasma anymore, so he took it off of his like price list and things. So since I had already paid, they ended up just refunding me 2,500 when I got there. So, and it was easy. Like I see people saying they have issues with refunds. No, they refunded me my stuff right then. I actually used part of the money to buy a new faja while I was there, and then they just sent me the additional like 20, I forget, like 23K because I ended up buying some shit while I was there. But they recovered. I think when I got home, so I stayed for like 6 days. When I got home, they called me the next day about my refund. It was fine. They did everything they should have did. So now that I've got to that point, paid off my surgery. Here comes April. So I left April 3rd to get down to Miami. I got and checked into my Airbnb. I stayed there until April 12th, I believe. So I was there for, let me go make sure. So yeah, April 4th. So I flew out April 4th was the day I flew out for surgery. And my surgery was actually April 6th. So I ended up staying until the 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 days is how long I was there. So my plane tickets were cheap. I got the plane tickets for me and my baby dad for like $450. Not bad. Now they're high as shit, but back then they were cheap for something. My Airbnb was like 9 something. It wasn't quite 1,000, I don't think, which was like great because I stayed for 9 days. It was great. And it was small, but it was like very perfect for like what I needed. So I only needed a small amount of space. There was a nice bathroom. I'm gonna post, maybe I can post a video like up here. I'm gonna try really hard to edit this and make it right for y'all. But um, so I'm going to the room basically had a little kitchen area, nice TV, a nice bed, and then there was like a little walk-in shower, which I was really like big on the shower because I hear people passing out all the time in the shower. So I wanted one that was nice and spacious that wouldn't be claustrophobic for me. So the shower was perfect. And it had like the nice big old, you know, thing right above your head, which I thought was cool. So anyway, Airbnb was perfect, about $900 some dollars, almost $1,000. And so I got down there, paid. So far I've paid 5,500, then about 950 for the Airbnb, about 450 for the airplane. The fajas are about 150 a piece. I ended up buying two while I was down there because you need one right out of surgery. Vixen makes you buy their faja there because when you get out, they're not going to know what size you're in because you're swollen, you're a different size than what you know, will be in. So when I first got out of the surgery, I was an extra large, and then I ended up buying an additional extra large so that, because the first one is so bloody, so I needed another one to change it. So I bought two extra larges while I was down there, and then I had previously bought a medium one before I even went to surgery because some lady texted me from knowing that I got surgery, and she was like, all you got to do is measure yourself, and that's the size you're going to need. Lying. But anyway, it was cool because I ended up fitting into the medium later on anyway, so I ended up wearing it. So don't buy any fajas before you get down there for surgery. They're going to give you the size you need. You're going to buy it while you're down there. And then I went ahead and got fitted for an additional faja while I was down here, but I did too much. Like, literally just get the two fajas that you need while you're there, and then when you go home, you can downsize and buy the ones off of Snatch Body or whatever. Snatch Bodies are the ones that I like the best. So I'll just show you guys what they look like. So this is my, this is my medium. I thought that was going to be the big one. I don't know where the big one is. Anyway, so this is just what the fajas look like. They just button up. They cover up your whole back so that they're like compression on all your back. They're like padded here. These are the Snatch Body ones that I really liked. This is like the first stage 1 post-op. It has like no compression on the butt. Like, it's very stretchy, but it's like pretty, like, you know, it's not really that stretchy on this part. And there's 3 different hooks. You can go all the way through. They even unhook here so that you can have more space for like your, you know, vagina area, because I know some people are shorter than others, so they have issues with that. So this is a stage 1. This is what you're going to get right out of surgery. Mine was an extra large. This is a medium. I ended up buying 2 extra large stage 1s, and I bought 2 medium. Oh no, then I got a large stage 1, just one, and then I got a medium stage 1, just one of those. So I had 4 stage 1s. So while I was down in Miami, I went to Pretty Girl Curves and got fitted for a stage 2, and they put me in a 2XL while I was down there. Of course, this is like huge on me now, but stage 2s just have shorter legs, and it of course has the 3 different hooks. So while I was down there, I bought one of those because I was like, oh, I can just wear one of those. I just wanted to get one fitted because I had seen that they have like good reviews. Some other things that I got for surgery that I knew I was going to need. So a lot of people have fibrosis or some swelling in certain areas that won't go away. So what I bought is, this is called the Swell Spot by Squeeze by Breeze on Instagram, and this is called a Swell Spot. So what I used to do is I used to put it inside of my faja right above my belly button because I had issues swelling right above my belly button. I would just put this on my skin. Then I would put lipofoams. So they also recommend lipofoams. So when your faja starts to get loose, you can stuff these in there and it makes it tight. Like, it will push the stuff, you know, against you, and it'll make it tight. So these are lipofoams. I used to do this, and then I, of course, put the ones on my sides and my backs, and then put my faja on. So you walk around looking big and crazy, yes, but it really does work. And now my waist is like gone. So like you definitely want to do what you're supposed to do post op. So again, boom, I'm down there, in my Airbnb, blah blah blah. So pre-op day. Um, Pre-op day is you go the day before your surgery and you just go in, fill out paperwork, you get weighed, you make sure your payments are paid. That's when I bought my second faja, my first and second faja from them. Um, you pee in a cup twice. They want to make sure that you're not on any like drugs, of course, and they want to make sure that you're not pregnant. So they go in the bathroom with you and you pee in the cup. They do the drug test. Boom, done. Fill out, sign some paperwork, initials here and there, whatever. It was like a whole bunch of paperwork. I didn't really read it all. If you want to, you can, but it was just so hectic in there at the time. That was like the most nerve wracking time because there were so many people in the waiting room, like people walking through the halls, just like getting ready for surgeries, like all day. That's how Miami is, just like all day surgeries, especially in the Coral Gables, whatever you say. That's the area where all these surgery centers are, and it's just full of post-op faja stores, like massage stores, like everywhere. So yeah, so that was my pre-op day. I got there at like 9. I was only there for like an hour and a half. I know some people say they're there for hours. In and out. I was in there, got my shit done, and I was going. So the day after I left my pre-op, I went to the grocery store, picked up some fruits, some waters, of course, Gatorades, like things that I think that were gonna help me. It was really hard to eat, so I mean, like applesauces, like you know, just foods that were like easier to eat on the belly and stuff like that, because you're not really like completely starving afterwards. I'll let you know that now. So that was it, and I went to bed. I kind of did a little video on Instagram. I don't know if anybody saw it, but where I went through all the medications that I brought. I'm gonna post a picture of all that. I didn't end up using too much of it. The main thing I used was Tylenol PM and the Tylenol Extra Strength. Um, that Arnica gel and stuff ain't really like that great. Like people were saying it'll get rid of your bruising. The tablets, yes, maybe the tablets that go under your tongue, you want to maybe get those. Let's see. The little urinal, the female urinal was good for the first couple days, because it's so hard to get your file on and off, and especially the first day you're not allowed to take the file off, so you need the urinal to pee the first couple days. I stopped using it after like a week or two though. I just started sitting on the toilet backwards. It just ended up working better for me, but that works for the first couple of days. The hibiscus chlorhexidine soap, you need to soap. You need to wash up in that the night before, in the morning of surgery. It just keeps you clean and it keeps you from getting any infection for surgery. So definitely get a small thing of that. You don't need a big thing, just a small thing, because you don't want to keep using it after it dries your skin out and stuff. Um, what else? Those are really the main things I use. There was nothing like super like impressive that I loved to use after that. Like other than that shit that I just told y'all don't need all that extra shit. Like people be telling you get this, like you don't need all of that. You just need a pack of lipofoams. You need your fajas. You need your other than that, you need your like back foams. You can make them out of padding. Oh, I would suggest getting these pads, like puppy pads or whatever they call it, chuck pads, just for massages. I didn't really leak a lot like I thought I would, but I put them on the bed in the Airbnb so I didn't bleed on their sheets or anything. And then I also had like a clear shower curtain underneath of that, so if it leaked through that I wouldn't mess their sheets up. But you can make this out of a chuck pad, and it goes right below, like right above your butt, and because that area gets so swollen for some reason, the lumbar area. So I ended up making a couple of them, and I even have like this. This doesn't work as much. I bought this from M&D. It's like a faja company. It doesn't have as much compression as like these ones, so I use those a lot. So yeah, Chuck's pads just for like your bed, and that's really all though. Trying to think, nothing really other than that I used. So I bought like a robe. I bought like 3 or 4 robes. You only need one, because after that you're in your faja. You don't really care about what people think about you and your faja after surgery. I wore a robe into the surgery day, with some slippers, some easy slip-on shoes, and that was it. And I had my hair in braids. Um, so yeah, so I went to bed that night. I did my shower and my chlorhexidine. No deodorant, no lotions, no nothing on your face. You can't have nothing. No hair gel, no nothing. So I had I didn't have these kind of braids, but I had like two French braids for the day of surgery, and then I washed up in the morning at like, I think my surgery was 5 a.m. I got like one of the first surgeries. I was hyped. They texted me the night before and told me what time my surgery was and what time I needed to be there, and they gave you a full list of the instructions that you needed to do with the shower and everything. So I got there at like 4:45, and my baby dad dropped me off at the door. No one was really allowed in at the time because of COVID. And I got in the elevator with the anesthesiologist, which was like very calming to me. So he's like, "Are you here for surgery?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like really nervous. He was like, "Don't be." He was like, "Who do you have surgery with?" And I was like, "Dr. Cannon." He was like, "Oh, he's going to take great care of you. I worked for him for years. Like, you're going to look great. Like, just relax. It's kind of, I know it's nerve wracking, but you'll be fine." So it was like meant for me to like see him in the elevator because he like really like helped like calm me down because I was like, okay, I can do this. So I was obviously the first one in the facility. It was just me, the anesthesiologist, and I'm sure Dr. Keenan was in the back. So I go sit in the waiting room. There wasn't even a receptionist at the front. So another girl walks in maybe 5 minutes later, and she sits down next to me, and I don't know her name honestly, but she was actually one of the reasons I got the size butt that I got. Like, me and her were talking, and she was like, "What are you gonna ask for?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't know. Like, I want like a natural butt, but I want it to be noticeably big." So she was like, "So you want between natural big?" And I told her, I was like, "I think I want natural big, but like a little bit bigger." So she was like, "You want small dramatic then? Like, that's what you want?" I was like, "Oh my God, that makes so much sense." Like, yes, I don't want like a huge, big dramatic butt, but I want it to be dramatic enough to be noticed. So I guess small dramatic is what I want. So she's like, "Yeah, girl, that's what you want." So I was like, "I don't know your name, but like, thank you. You helped me get the body that I wanted, honestly." So she was super cute. She was nervous as well. And it was just me and her. So after our conversation, like 5 minutes later, they called me back. So of course I'm like shaking. I'm so nervous. So I have my little robe on and my little braids. So she takes me back to the little room and she takes my blood pressure. She gave me a hairnet, their like gown type of thing, and like the footy things, pajamas, and they gave me their um, Ted stockings because I guess they have certain ones with like your toe hangs out. I guess that's where they do your paw socks. So you put on all of their stuff. You take your stuff off. You put it in a bag. They write your name on it and they take it. So my blood pressure when she took it was like 160 over something crazy, like 10, 111. It was really like high. I was really nervous and I didn't feel like that nervous. I was trying my best to like calm down. But you're about to go into a major surgery, like, so you really can't like calm down. So I took some deep breaths and she retook it, and then it was like 140 over like 100 or something. So she was like, "Let me go ask and make sure that's okay." Like, I was like, "Oh my God, if I get canceled because my goddamn blood pressure, I'm going to have a fit." Like, so she asked the anesthesiologist and she was like, "That's cool. Like, that's fine." She's nervous. So they took me. So they told me to get undressed. They took pictures of me with an iPad for my pre-op thing, for my case, because they put it in the folder with all your paperwork. So literally 2 seconds after she walks out, Dr. Cannon walks in, and I'm just like, he's like a celebrity to me, like, because I've been following this man. I've been anticipating meeting him for like months at that point. And he was just this cute little white man with his little red beard, and he had his little surgical cap on, his blue scrubs, and he had on cowboy boots. So I was like, you do your thing, like, you have your own thing, and like, it was cute to me. Anyway, so he walks in and like he notices my butterflies on my hands. He's like, "Okay, butterflies," and I'm like, "Oh my God, he's funny." So he tried to like ease me up a little bit because I was definitely nervous, but so he asked me how I found him, just small talk, like what made me want surgery, what am I looking for, and then he asked me to take my gown down. And he, of course, started to tell me what he was thinking, and me and him had the same thoughts. He was like, actually, small dramatic seems like right, it's perfect for you because your thighs are already like big, like, it'll match perfect. Like, he's like, and you do not need a tummy tuck. So that last doctor that told you you need a tummy tuck, you do not need one. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel good. Like, he was like, all you got to do is do maybe the taping method and wear your faja, like, and compress, so you'll be fine. So I was like, okay, perfect. So I he sat me back down for a minute. He started marking me up, y'all. When he was marking me up a lot, and I was like, okay. He was like, I'm gonna get you up here too. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. He was like, sorry, I get a little excited when I have like a good pre-op body, and I was like, okay, that means like I'm about to look bomb. He's like, you're gonna look so good, and I was like, okay, that makes me feel good. Um, so I guess I had a little bit of fat down there in like the cooter area. So he was like, what do you think about getting lipo down there? And I was like, I mean, I never thought about it, like, but if you feel like it's gonna be better, like, for me to do that, I will. He was like, when's your birthday? I was like, June 13th. He was like, okay, it's coming up. He's like, I'm gonna give you a birthday present. He was like, I'm going to lipo this for free for you. And I was like, what? I was like, you don't have to do that. He was like, no, girl, you're good. He was like, you're gonna look great, and I just know you're gonna look good, so I want to do everything I can for you to look good. So I was like, perfect. So I ended up looking up the price of that later. It was a $500 fee for an additional lipo area. So I was very thankful that he did that for me. Even though he knew I had extra money on my account because he seen my account balance that I had a negative balance, he could have just been like, I'm gonna add this. But he was so sweet and gave that to me, and he's forever like my doctor now because like that was just he didn't have to do that. So anyway, I sit back down. Literally 2 seconds later, the other anesthesiologist comes in and they come and walk me back to the surgery room. It's this big room, bright. The table is just flat and tiny. It's like this small. You get on it. They start an IV, and he comes in the room. Dr. Cannon was the last person I saw, was along with the anesthesiologist, and I was out. And I said, "I'll see you guys on the flat side." And he started laughing. And then the last thing I remember, I was out. So I got my surgery, and that was it. So I don't remember being in like the recovery area, but a lot of people say they are wake up so cold, freezing, like shivering. I wasn't really awake enough for any of that. So the when I woke up, I was outside in a wheelchair, getting into the back of the SUV that we had rented. So we rented a SUV. You can Uber and all that, but it's just I think it's easier to have someone there that you trust and can pick you up and get an SUV for sure, so you can lay in the back. I bought a like small inflatable camper, like child's twin size inflatable bed to go on the back of the SUV, and it was probably the most comfortable. It was the most comfortable I was the entire time, like even over a bed. Like I would rather sleep on that inflatable bed. Like it was the best, and I will link that as well because that was definitely the best thing that I could have bought for like um, traveling. So I was in the back of the SUV. That's all I remember, and I was just, I was like, oh my god, I'm done. So I was cold at the time, but I wasn't like crazy shaking. Like I was cold though. But I guess that's part of the medication that they put in your body throughout your body, so it just makes you cold. I guess the anesthesia, I don't know. So I get back to the Airbnb, and I'm just in so much pain. Like I wasn't in pain in the back of the car, but once I got into the Airbnb and I lay down, I was in so much pain. Like I remember saying I would rather have 10 more kids. Like, and I didn't have medication when I had my kids. So my daughter, she was 7 pounds. So she wasn't a little tiny thing. So I was just in pain. And so my baby dad is trying to find the medication because Miami is so booked and packed with surgeries. They run out of Percocets everywhere. So he found this little like Spanish like pharmacy around the corner, like Navarro, I believe is what they're called, or something like that. I don't remember. Navarro Pharmacy. They ended up having my perks, so it was only perk fives. They weren't like crazy, nothing crazy, but it took the edge off for real. Like it did help me like calm down because I was definitely on one. Like I was crying. I was just like, I hate this. Like it hurts. And the main pain wasn't even my butt, y'all. It was my back. I guess from him sucking all the fat out, like my back hurt so bad. It was my back. My butt just felt tight. It didn't hurt yet though. So stomach just felt numb as hell. Like I just felt uncomfortable as fuck. I was just like so over it. So once I got my perk though, I think between 8 and 12, it was when I was really struggling because my surgery is at 5 a.m. I got out of there by like 8:30. But once I got my perk at 12, I remember being good for the rest of the night. I was good. I think I took one more perk that night, and then I started to feel like when I took the perks, I felt hot, sweaty, like my heart was racing, like I didn't feel the greatest. So after that last perk that night, I stopped taking it and I started taking the Tylenol extra strength in the PM. I took the PM the one night, and then it made me just super drowsy. So then I just stuck with the extra strength, but. You only really need the perks for the first day for real to kind of get the edge off you so you can calm down. But like after that, I was good with the Tylenol. So boom, day one is over. I'm good. The next day, my massage day. And side note, I did massages with Massage by Ari. The price was $540 for 6 massages. It was great. I had a great, amazing experience with them. They came right to my Airbnb on time every day. Um, they brought their own table. Um, they were very knowledgeable when it came to surgery. So I was very thankful for them. They did a great job. I would definitely recommend them. So that was who I used. $540 for 6 sessions. Couldn't beat it. So next day, she's calling me. She's like, I'm on my way, and I'm like, okay. So they want you to have your faja all. Oh, but I had my post-op appointment first. So because you have to take your faja off and everything. So I had booked my first massage kind of later in the day. So I did my post-op appointment at 9 a.m. the next day after surgery. They take your faja off. They look at your body, and that's it. It's really no. They don't do nothing on post-op at all for real. It's really dumb. So you once you go to your post-op appointment, you can go home and take a shower. So I had bought the other faja from them. So I had 2 fajas. One was clean, one was disgusting and with blood all over the place. I'll show you guys a picture, hopefully right here, where I can show you guys how I looked right out of surgery. But the next day, or the post-op day, I went home. Oh, I went home. I took a shower immediately. I could not wait. I took a shower, and I put my new faja on, and I just felt like I was in better spirits because I was clean. So of course it's just like recovery. You laid on your stomach all day, bored as hell. Like that's it. That's all. So then my massage lady came in that afternoon. Oh y'all, that was the worst. Like I got massages like after that, like, and they got better, of course, but that first one, I was about to pass out. I remember just feeling like, because she had me on my knees on the massage table doing the lymphatic, where she's like manually, literally removing the fluid out of the holes. If I can get this video right where I can show y'all um, the fluid coming out, if I will try my best to post it on here, but it might be too much for some of y'all. I recorded the very first one, and I remember on my knees, like, I think just watching the fluid come out of my body just made me queasy. I was like, I'm a nurse, and like I don't get queasy with like that, but coming out of your own body, it was hard to watch. And I remember like telling her I need a drink, so I stopped, got a drink of water, and I asked her to just kind of go easy, and she was like, all right, let's take a break, like let's stop. I'm like, okay, all right, let's stop. So she gave me a break, and I was good after that. And I ended up calling my IV lady. So that's the next lady I ended up booking. So I knew I was dehydrated. I am not a huge water drinker. If you know me, you know I don't drink a lot of water, and I really try to change my ways, but like I drink hella soda and sweet tea. I'm like the most unhealthy person, like, but I was forcing myself to drink water and Gatorade during that time because I knew I was just got done a major surgery. So I did force myself, but clearly not enough. Like they were telling me I needed to drink 6 bottles of water a day, and I'm like, huh, yeah, okay, we'll see. I got maybe like 3 or 4 bottles of water in a day, but I try my best. Like that's all you can do. So anyway, um, oh, and a small little backup. I guess my paperwork is right here. I forgot to mention during pre-op or before 30 days prior to surgery, you have to do your labs and all that stuff. So you have to have a hemoglobin of at least 9, I think, or 10, something like that. Mine was like 12. Um, because that stuff is really important because you bleed so much after surgery and they won't perform surgery on you. So I meant to say that staying hydrated, doing Floridex, doing iron pills up to your day of your surgery is very important. I meant to mention that. I'm sorry. I It's a lot to talk about. Um, so yeah. Um, but like again, when I like stepping back a little bit, when I was taking my Percocets, I was nervous when I was getting lightheaded and my heart was racing. I thought I lost too much blood because the same signs and symptoms of hypovolemia are the same signs and symptoms that you basically had with taking perks. Like that's kind of how I felt. I was like, okay, like I'm super dehydrated. Like I didn't feel good at all. Like my heart's racing. Like I'm hot. I'm literally dizzy. Like it just felt like I hadn't lost too much blood. So that's just where I was with it. But I ended up being okay, just drinking water, fluids. But I also had hired a IV nurse. It was Drip and Bodied. I will try to link their Instagram. I believe a post-op IV infusion is $200, one time fee, and honestly, it was life changing because I felt horrible because I was so dehydrated. I don't think it matters how much water you drink. She gave me a liter of fluid with electrolytes. I can't remember exactly the electrolytes, but I know it was like magnesium, like um, B12, vitamin B12, something. I don't know, complexes. She had hella vitamins she inserted in the bag. The bag was like yellow. You can taste it. It was crazy. But I start IVs all day at work, and then like I never really like knew what it was like to have my own. But yeah, it was life changing. Like at the moment I didn't feel like it was. I'm like, God, was this really worth $200? But a couple hours after I got my infusion, I felt like a whole new woman. I felt great. I was like, oh my God, I can walk. I can do anything. Like I didn't feel dizzy anymore. It was the best. So I just definitely was just dehydrated. So definitely book an IV nurse, and I mean it. I mean it. Like I mean that. So yeah, so that's basically my process. And then like I just basically was there getting massages, trying to live life for the next couple days until the 12th when I ended up leaving and going home. The ride on the airplane was not the greatest. I ended up taking a BBL chair or BBL pillow and a blanket, and I just sat down the entire time. I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna have to sit down. I cannot sit on my knees in the airplane. And I've sat on regular. I didn't get first class. I think maybe in another life I would have, but it really wasn't that big of a difference. Like first class is a little bit more space, but I mean nothing crazy. I have seen some planes where they lay flat. That might be a nice one where you can lay on your stomach. I'm not sure, but I just had a regular plane and I was fine. Unless you have any other issues, I think you would be fine on a regular plane. um, um, so wait a minute. I'm so weak. I had to cough. Sorry. So anyway, back to everything. So that was like my main exciting, like, I know it took a long time to go through all that, but that was a lot of recovery right there, was those 9, 6, 10 days I was there. Um, After that, the exciting part was over. I got home and it was just time to rest. Like, I ended up using a lot of my daughter had a beanie bag, and I laid that on my bed a lot of the times to eat. And I would just like sit on my knees and have the beanie bag under my stomach, and I would just eat that way. Like I made a BBL chair. I will also try to link a picture of that up here. I bought a non anti gravity chair from Amazon. I think it was like $70, and then I bought like a eggshell, whatever they're called, the like bed like the really cheap like bed comforter, like not comforter, what the hell is it called? Like a mattress topper. That's what it is. Like the little cheap one, and I cut it up and I put it on like the arms, like the back, the butt area, and then I cut a hole in the butt so that I had somewhere where my butt could kind of like sit down into it. I actually sat in that a lot. Like I know some women say their hips are way too big to fit in it, the width of it, but I'm a petite person, so I'm only 5'2", so my even with my hips being done and surgery, I still had enough space to sit in that, and my butt, sat in it. It's not a long time, long term sit. Like you can sit for maybe tops an hour, and you're hurting kind of like your back, where the chair cuts into your back, and I even put pillows there, cushions. It still feels uncomfortable after a while, and then your bottom of your thighs. But it works for just to feel normal and sitting because you cannot sit. So I would eat at my coffee table with that little chair with the hole in the butt. I loved it. Did its job. Some people like it. Some people don't. I'll post a picture of it, and I made it. Me and my baby dad made it ourselves, and yeah, it was that. So I like that. But other than that, I rested for 3 weeks before I went back to work. I didn't sit really um, at all. I was too scared. It was too much pressure when I did try to sit, so I didn't sit until week 6. When I got home, I did have massages at in Salisbury. Um, it was called the House of Glam. Jazz and Cam were the two that ended up doing my surgeries. Jazz did mainly my first few when I got back home. I did 6 massages with her. I believe it was only 400 because they were doing a special at the time for six massages, so it was good. 400 or 500, I don't remember, but they were doing like a massage special. So I did those when I got back, and then I kind of took a couple weeks off of a break after I did the 6 sessions with her because I felt good. Like my stomach was smooth, like it didn't have no lumps in it, no fibrosis. I didn't have any excess fluid anymore. I felt good, so I didn't feel like I really needed it. I did self massage. So what I did is I bought one of these little thing off Amazon. It comes with like this little thing, I guess, if there's any hard spots. Um, and it just rolls. Like you put oil on yourself and you just roll. Like that's what I did to keep the fluid down when I was home. This is the KT tape I bought when I showed you guys pictures of taping. I'll post another picture up there, but you just tape the excess skin up and put your faja on, and it helps a lot with the skin, extra skin. If you have extra skin, like I did, where you were on the borderline of a tummy tuck and not needing a tummy tuck. So this tape with compression really gets you where you need to be. I wasn't super duper compliant with the tape. Like I did it a couple times, but it just got annoying because it's wet, and when you get out of the shower, you gotta like blow dry it. Like I don't have time in the morning when I went back to work. Like 5 o'clock in the morning is enough. I don't need to wake up any extra to blow dry my tape. So like I stopped doing it. But if I did it longer, I think I would see more results. But I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't the most compliant person. Like even with my faja, like after week 6, like week 1 through 6, I was faja 25/8. Like I had that faja on all day, all the time. But after week 6, when you can wear your faja half a day, you can wear so week 6 the people post-op department will call you and they'll say you can wear your faja half a day, wear it during the day, and then sleep without it at night. So I was like, cool. So when I started going to work, it was just so hard wearing your faja. I worked 12-hour shifts. I was always just hurting because like your faja will cut right here, if you can see like how it cuts. I'll show you guys. But like if you sit, see how it cuts into your right there. So it hurts. So I found these little teeny thin M&D things that they're meant just for that, so it don't cut and it doesn't also make you bulky. These are lifesavers too. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 recommend when you switch over to your stage 2, which I switched over kind of early, like around week 4, but I was really, really in it at week 6. So week 6, you want to switch over to a stage 2 faja, and you want to wear it half a day, and you want to get these because if not, it's going to cause like kind of more damage for real if you're like, you're not probably looking for that like triangle look, you know what I mean? You want to be smooth. So definitely need those. But I totally recommend you to wait until at least week 5 or 6 to get into your stage 2 because you're still healing. There's so many people on Facebook that are like, just wear your stage 2 like 5 days post-op. No, you need the stage 1. They have a stage 1 for a reason. It's post-operative garments. Like you need it for the first 6 weeks. Just follow the process. You'll be fine. The stage 1 does its job, and it's the most comfortable thing to keep you in it. Like switching over to a stage 2 too quick is going to make you want to be out of the shit, and you're not going to want to wear it. Because like I would put my stage 2 on, and I'm like, this shit is hurting. Like it hurts. Like, and that's what made me at week 6 say, fuck it, I stopped wearing it altogether. So after about week 6, when I was supposed to be wearing the stage 2 more often, I actually started just not wearing it because I got a rash on my back. So I was like, I took 2 or 3 weeks of not wearing a faja. Like, that's too many. So I even went ahead and bought one of these thinking this would be like better. It's like a faja basically without the bottom part. And it's like a waist trainer, but it's like faja version. Like, it has, like, it's BBL version really, I guess, because it has the straps just like a faja, and the back goes up because regular fajas are too much on your butt. Like, regular fajas are too low for regular, I guess, lower butts. I guess natural butts are more lower. But, like, when you get a BBL, your butt is real high. So, like, it goes up in the back, which I liked. Got that, but it has bars in it. And the bars, like, I guess, dug into my back as well, right above my butt, I guess, where my butt, like, comes out. And I have a little scar on my back now from that. So, I'm like, I just need to go back to my faja. So now I'm back in my faja, as you guys see, and it's a snatch body. This is what I've been in, and I've tried different ones. I've tried Pretty Girl Curves, since we're talking about it. This is also from Pretty Girl Curves. It's just, they have different things you can wear. This is shorts, and it has the butt, and this is semi-custom, so based off of your waist measurements and your butt measurements, you can get different sizing, and it's very stretchy. I don't wear this that often. I think I've only worn it like once or twice with like biker shorts, but it is nice to wear and still wear like your like crop tops and still have your stomach show and you not look like you have like a big garment on. Another garment I got from Pretty Girl Curves is this one, or no, Fit Doll. I'm so sorry. This is from Fit Doll. Fit Doll fajas. This is from Fit Doll as well. So this is like a cool one. It's kind of funny. It's a regular faja on the front, but it has no compression, like zero compression in the back, so zero. It still has a zipper. You can still zip and pee or whatever, but it has literally no compression in the butt. And I love this when I was beginning to wear my stage 2s, because around week 6, you feel like your butt is so little. Like, I felt like my butt shrunk. I was upset. I was like, oh my gosh, my butt is smaller than it started. So right out of surgery, my butt was 44 inches big from around my hips. My stomach was about 31, 32 right out of surgery. Fast forward to week 6, my butt was like a 43 and a half. Like, I got smaller, and I was getting really depressed. I'm like, oh my God, my butt is shrinking. Like, my stomach was still the same, about 31, 30 inches. Now, week 11, here I am, my ass is fat. It's 46 inches. So my butt is actually 2 inches bigger than it was from day 1 post-op. Your butt goes through a fluffing stage where you're, like, when you're first out of surgery, your skin's tight, like, it's all fresh fat, like, right there. Like, you're not healed. Like, you're just dealing with healing. And week 11, here I am, my butt is fluffing out. It's still not completely fluffed. I think it's still got some time to, get big, but, I can show you guys. This is what my butt looks like now. Like that. This is, and I'll post pictures as well, but, like, this is what it's like now. Oh, shit. But, yeah, that's what my butt looks like. All right, let me get my stuff together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's really it, though. I am, like I said, now 11 weeks post-op. I'm sitting now because next week I'll be 12 weeks, and that's 3 months. That's what they recommend before you sit fully. I think I really did start sitting like 3 weeks ago, though. Like, I feel fine. My butt feels fine. It still kind of is tender and sore to touch. My stomach is way less numb now. Again, I still have some extra skin. I did do cavitation in wood for the past couple weeks, but I wasn't very compliant with my faja. Like I said, at that time, I had a rash on my back, and I feel like if I would have done that, I would have seen more results. I didn't personally see, like, crazy results from that, but I do think it works in the long run. Like, my first session with the wood therapy and the cavitation, I felt snatched. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so snatched. But I also didn't do my part, which was to wear my faja. And I feel like that's my fault, not my massage therapist's fault at all. But I told her once I get less sore and I feel like I'm more ready to be like into that, you know, healing part of my, my recovery. I told her I would come back. So right now I am taking another break off of massages. Some people like to get them all the time up until months after. I'm about 3 months now, and I've been getting them here and there. So I've gotten 12 while I was here, and I got 6 there, 7, and then one more 7. So I don't even know the math, but yeah. Anyway, let me do it. So I got 19 massages altogether. Some of them are just cavitation wood. Some of them are just lymphatic. Some of them, you know, weren't, they weren't all the same. So you just kind of find what works best for you. It all depends on what your process is, what your body is in the healing stage, what you feel like is best for you. Again, just keep following the Facebook pages, do your research. Of course, I have one more question that I don't think I got to. One was foams and boards. When did I start and stop wearing them? I started wearing them immediately the next day after surgery. Well, maybe it was day 2 after surgery because I felt like my faja started getting loose. So I started packing my foams in there, not boards yet. I started wearing my boards. This is the board I actually wore. It's an M&D one. I got off Amazon. And it goes like this under your faja. But when I wear this, I'm telling y'all, a board will make you flat. Like, a board is what's going to make your stomach flat. I wore this at night, one night or 2 nights in a row. I'm telling you, my stomach I saw amazing results. So you definitely want to wear boards. I have this kind of board too, but like if your waist is not super duper tiny, it is so hard to get this on. This is like completely hard, and it wraps around you, and then you put your faja on top. So that's another thing you can wear on top of everything else I've told you with the foams. So when you do that, you want to wear your board, put your board on first, then your foams. You can put your foams in different areas. Like if you feel like you're having a little fupa area problem, you can fold this up, put it right there. Just as long as you're compressing, you want to compress wherever you feel like you need to compress. This, and then you put these on your back. Like, you can find videos on how to put your foams in your boards the right way. But I stopped wearing my foams when I started wearing my stage 2. Foams and boards were like definitely a thing to wear when you're stage 1 from like day 2 post-op up until 6 weeks. You want to always have your foams and boards in. Always, always, always. And even if it's not always, at least at night when you go to sleep. Some people say that they seen some article where a girl like died overnight from wearing her boards and foams too tight. So definitely listen to your body. Do not try to make things too tight too soon. Like, it's definitely important to compress, but please do not do too much. Like, if I felt uncomfortable in the middle of the night, I would wake up, I would take my foams and boards out and just wear my faja. As long as you're trying and you're doing it, as much as you can throughout the day, or when you're moving around, you're working, you're doing things where you're moving around up and about and not, you can do that. But like, definitely don't push yourself too hard. Like, listen to your body always. If your body is not ready for that compression, don't do it. Like, I still can't wear, like, people be wearing the elastic things and tying them all tight. I can't do that yet. I'm not ready. I don't know if I ever will be ready, but I guess that's why my waist is still a 30. But as long as my hips are maintaining a 46 to a 30 ratio is giving. So I don't care. So I will try my best to eventually get to a snatched waist. But as of right now, my priority was healing and healing comfortably. So I'm not going to be sitting here uncomfortable looking at y'all looking crazy where I can't breathe, So definitely listen to your body. That's my biggest advice. Definitely heal. Like, I had the worst time. I'm not a homebody. I don't stay home. I'm out. I do things. Like, I like to be out and about. I did not take the time to really like sit down, but it was fine. I wasn't doing nothing crazy. Like, I wasn't going out right away. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. But if that's what you want to do, you can do that. You're going to have to work extra hard at home. Drink the extra water. If you do go out and drink, you're going to be swollen. You're going to have to compress the whole next day. You're going to have to drink water. There's always consequences for things. Like, when you have surgery, like, the swelling never stops, like, until you're like a year post-op. They say you can literally swell up until a year. So at this point, I'm just banking on swelling when I drink and do things, and that's fine. I still look fine. It's not too much swelling. You just know you're not as snatched as you usually are. My last thing, I had someone ask me about my mental health. My mental health was actually okay throughout this process. I felt like I built the confidence I never had when I got my body done. That is one thing I will say. The confidence is through the roof. Like, I feel like I just feel so pretty now. Like, you can't tell me shit. Like, I don't care what y'all gotta say, but you're not gonna tell me shit. So, that's just how I feel, and like that's the way you should feel. Like, you should feel beautiful when you get your surgery, no matter your outcome, no matter how you feel. Like, we're our biggest critics, so we're always going to think, oh, I can use a little bit more of this because I still want another round. Like, I want a round two, but not right now, maybe a year or two later. I do want more lipo. I've just had a consultation for a boob lift. So, I mean, do what makes you happy, like, for real. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, that is one thing that I've learned about myself was what this journey was, that you have one life, you want to live it happy, comfortably, confident. You want to have fun, you want to do everything. You don't want to spend your life not going somewhere because you can't find something to wear that's not comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I was sick of feeling like that. Like, oh, is this gonna show this like muffin top, or is my butt not big enough to fit in this? Like, it doesn't look right without a butt. Like, do what makes you happy, do what makes you feel good, and that's it. That's all. Like, when it comes to the recovery, listen to your body, do what is comfortable, do not push yourself. Definitely, if you feel like you're dizzy, you call somebody. I called Vixen when I felt lightheaded. I said, hey, what's going on? Like, why do I feel like that? She said, it's the medicine, it's the medicine. I was like, all right, hopefully I make it to tomorrow. But if I still feel like it's tomorrow, y'all gonna have to give me a blood transfusion, something. Should I go to the hospital? Like, what? Definitely listen to your body. Definitely listen to your gut when it comes to doctors. Like, if your gut is telling you, okay, I don't want to, maybe potentially be in this position, don't do it. I felt like that one doctor, Dr. William, was going to cancel me because he was saying this, that, and this, and that, and the third about my tummy tuck. Because I also had forgot to mention, I emailed him new pictures after I had lost weight after I first booked. He was still saying I need a tummy tuck. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to listen to my gut. I only want a lipo 360 and a BBL. That's it. And you're paying for it. This is cosmetic. This is not something you have to get. So do not let a doctor tell you you need this. He can recommend that, but he can't make you pay for nothing. So remember that. A lot of these doctors can try to get over on you and get money, and you don't even need that. That's a risk for infection. That's a big scar. Like, if you don't need that tummy tuck, some people may need it. Some people may want it. That's fine. But if you're not wanting to get a tummy tuck, don't. It's another opening, another risk for infection. If you don't need it, don't do it. Those are probably my 3 top things that I wanted to get out of this whole video. Was that I'm so sorry. This is the longest video. I wanted to be as detailed as possible. I think I literally told you guys everything from November until now, which is almost July, in my whole recovery state. I just feel, like you guys should definitely do the surgery if it's something you want to do. Hope I answered everybody's questions. I hope I didn't leave anybody confused because I was back and forth bouncing around. But like I said, this process was so long. It was so many details involved. It moved so quickly. Like, I cannot even believe that I'm almost 3 months post-op now. Like, it is what it is. It's done, and I feel good. And I think that if you guys have any more questions and you want to go through with the surgery, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am totally like BBL community pro, you know. So anyway, you guys have a good day. Let me know if you have any more questions. Bye.